Hey guys, Jason here, and welcome back to the Abyss Garage. And we are back at it today with our Shovelhead project. Now, I went ahead and special ordered some tires for this bike, give it more of a period correct look from what was on here originally. So for today's video, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the back half portion of this bike. Going to be tackling a few things here. We're going to be dealing with wheel spacing. We're going to be working on the disc brake setup, fender setup. We even went to oil tank, anything mount-wise that needs to get made. I'm just going to be focusing here so that way, figuratively and literally, I can work my way forward with this bike. So let's get to it. With the rear fender just sitting on the tire, I ended up getting a little bit of ADD over here and was already thinking of what I could use to fill in the area over here. And the end of the fall, I went to a swap meet and picked up this remote oil filter housing, and surprisingly enough, it works. So I'll come over here. And all I had to do for this was, I had some scrap material laying around. I went and made a really simple bracket off camera, made some measurements, cut it out, drilled it, chamfered the holes, and this filter is now going to stay in place. And I might be able to even make some brackets off of this, or make some revisions to attach the rear fender to it. The rear I'm going to probably do with the sissybar, but that should work for the front. figured I'd take a second and just go over to two of the mounts that I have made so far. And this one I ended up using some plate steel that I had, and got some flat stock and simply bent the flat stock to the curvature of the fender here, as you guys can see. So, and welded that up, so this way I'll be able to drill through and have a good mounting point. And down here, again, back to the original mount that I had made. This I plan on mounting to the fender here and here, and that is a location point. So those two are there. And then the next thing is going to be, I would like to make a sissy bar for this bike. And I have some 5/8 tubing, or excuse me, 5/8 bar stock. And going to try and make up a bracket and get my last mounting point, so that way I can say this fender is mounted for good. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, got one half of the sissy bar made for this bike. This is 5/8 round stock. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. I can't remember. Off camera, I used a chop saw, cut the top off. I am sitting 12 inches on top of the fender, which I think should be a good height for this, and used a chamfering tool just to clean that up a little bit. So we'll get this side mounted just so you guys can see what we got going on here. And I think this is a pretty good height. It's not ridiculously out of, you know, too tall for my liking. Just got to bend this out a little bit. Obviously, you got to keep working with the fender, but now I can go ahead and get the other side made up and hopefully get it to match this one. All right, so now I'm in the process of making the other side of the sissy bar, and went ahead and tack welded this 3/16 flat stock to the 5/8 round tubing, or round stock rather. And what I'm going to do here is probably hard to tell from further back, but I guess I've seen normally what people will do is they will tack both pieces of rod together and then bend all at the same time. However, I don't have the torch, or the oxyacetylene torch, filled up, so I'm having to use a MAP gas setup. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clamp these tabs together, the flat stock, and I'm simply going to use that as a point of reference to make my bends, to hopefully try and get one that's close to matching this. mission accomplished for today's video. Just to quickly recap here on the Shovelhead build. Went ahead, fender mounts made. Took a little bit of thinking on that, and sissy bar made. Not bad for being the first time with this stuff. Is it perfect? No, it's not, but it's good enough for me. And I'm not building a show bike here, which I may have mentioned. But brake stay is on. End up using a front brake mount for that. Flipped it upside down, so it worked out great. And if anyone is wondering here, because off camera it took a little bit of work, but I ended up using a dish rear sprocket, which is stock on a Shovelhead. Flipped it backwards, and that gave me proper chain to frame clearance, and also with proper spacing, axle spacers. Rim is centered in the frame, it's running down the backbone, and again, I still have the chain is straight, it's not binding in any which way. So sometimes you got to think out of the box with this stuff, which is great because really you know, letting your mind work here. So if you guys are liking this stuff, let me know down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Ring the bell, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you around for the next stage of this build. Take care.